Hello, everybody, and today is March 1st, 2008. Uh, Welcome to Enjoy the Movies, where I, Nam, put in my 2 cents about movies. So, anyway, I don't think it's any secret. Everybody probably knows that my favorite genre is thriller suspense movies. But there's, been a handful that I watched, and some of them just aren't that great. And then there's one good example that I'd like to talk about that I haven't reviewed before, so let's talk about those. But anyway, so you might have noticed that I put up a bunch of my episodes recently, only because last week I watched like a crack ton of movies, like 18 movies or so. So I just wanted to get a bunch of them up there. Anyway, so today, or this episode, I want to talk about The Invisible, Deja Vu, and Mr. Brooks. So, let's just get right to the chase and start with The Invisible. Now, for those of you who haven't seen this movie, the trailer advertised that this was one of those movies where the main character was going to almost die and have to solve his own, basically he just... Okay, let me rephrase. Let me just start over. Okay, so The Invisible, it's about this guy who pretty much almost dies, and then he finds out that he's supposed to solve the mystery of his own death. And if he does, then he's not exactly completely dead yet. So, that's what I gathered from the trailer. My huge problem with this movie is that what they advertised in the trailer was seemingly a very important scene, but they totally cut that out of the movie. And honestly, I think I know why. When you watch this movie, alright, I'm going to give you a spoiler warning right now. So those of you who want to watch it, okay, I'm not even going to recommend watching it, so don't even bother watching it. But if you're going to watch it, here's your chance to mute it now. Okay, anyway. So, The Invisible is more of like a freaking love story. Alright? So, there's no mystery of solving his death or whatever, and it's a really lame, ridiculous pretense for a messed up love story. So there's what it is. Now, honestly, I feel like it had a lot of good potential. Could have gone somewhere, especially with what they did in the trailer. But I think maybe in retrospect, when they actually put the film together, in the editing room or whatever, they decided, oh, hey, look, this has nothing to do with the mystery of his own death. So let's just cut that scene out. A very important scene that they threw in the trailer that everybody saw and probably made people want to see the movie, and pretty much just gave people a run for their money and just put in a bunch of love scenes at random. So, anyway, this is what not to do in a thriller suspense film. So needless to say, I thought this film was crap. It was pretty bad. I mean, even if you just kind of step away from the expectation from the trailer, it doesn't go where you expect it to go. It's not the kind of movie that you're expecting to get when you even get there. And it seems kind of maybe unrealistic a little bit. I mean, I don't know anything about survival, of a dead body, or not really dead body, but a person, like unconscious person in the wilderness. But it doesn't seem right to me, Like when you watch the end of the movie, it's just like, oh, how the hell did he survive all of those? So, needless to say, Invisible, I want to give a thumbs down. Although in all actuality, the acting was solid. But when given a not so greatly written script, and, really bad pretenses for these assumptions and all that, whatever, I don't think it's worth it. So, don't worry, you don't have to watch The Invisible. Some people say it's okay. I'm saying I don't think it's that okay. So, let's just forget about it. Don't watch The Invisible. Thumbs down. Alright. Next movie that I want to talk about, Deja Vu. Now, this is a Denzel Washington movie. The reason why I say Denzel Washington is I don't think he's done really any of directing or producing on his own films, but he acts as like the same guy in every single film. Like, he is the guy that saves the day. He's the one that pretty much, after all is said and done, has lived through everything, and Needless to say, I don't think this is that much different. Now, the pretense behind this is it stars this police investigator who basically finds out about some explosion, stuff goes down, he's like, oh no, a lot of people died. A few days later, he's contacted by this organization saying they have this really super advanced technology to, view everything that's happened, but only as a one-time 4-day, 6-hour window into the past. Now, A, that seems ridiculously suspicious. B, like, he has no reason to trust these people. And C, he's way too smart for them, so why didn't they see that? Because the people doing this sort of thing. Anyway, okay, I think I'm probably be giving slightly few spoilers in this episode. So, another spoiler warning for Deja Vu. Basically, he ends up time traveling into the past, blah, 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 and he basically changes time and, saves a bunch of people, and it's, it wasn't like it wasn't expected. Like, Denzel Washington movies are fairly predictable at this point. Like, you know what's going to happen, you know how it's going to happen to some extent, and I don't think there's anything special about this movie. I don't want to say it was a bad movie. It was fairly entertaining, especially for those who like theoretical physics or, just thinking about, time travel, wormholes, all that fun stuff. Except for the fact that this movie really dumbs it down for, mainstream movie watchers. Like, I'm a fan of theoretical physics. I like Star Trek. I even read A Brief History of Time, Stephen Hawking. But, in this particular case, Deja Vu really dumbs it down. So, it's not even that enjoyable unless you don't really know anything about the subject. Then, maybe it might pique your interest or, maybe a topic of discussion. But other than that, it's pretty much a Denzel Washington movie. So I would say the movie itself is kind of but if you don't want to watch anything predictable, don't worry about it. If you really, really like Denzel Washington and you like him doing the same thing, by all means, go ahead and watch it. But other than that, it's okay. The movie is okay. It's not terrible. It's not great either. But what I want to talk about next is an example of a good thriller suspense movie.